Joining me now, Jim Trusty, attorney for President Trump and former federal prosecutor. Jim, thank you for joining us tonight. What can you tell us about the charges as you know them?
Well, we don't have the actual indictment yet. I suppose they'll give that to us at some point between now and Tuesday afternoon. Maybe they're too embarrassed to give it to us early. I don't know. But it's a combination of theoretical charges. Again, we just have a summary. We don't have the indictment in front of us, but it looks like the Espionage Act, which is kind of laughable on its face, several types of obstruction and conspiracy, and then false statements. So they're kind of throwing everything in the kitchen sink up on the wall in an investigation that even in just recent days we have brought to light criminal obstruction behavior by the investigators. You know, it's an amazing moment, Laura. I have not built a career attacking DOJ. I was a prosecutor for 27 years. I spent 17 years there. Loved it. But this is outrageous that they actually have prosecutors who literally, among other things, and we've categorized a number of abuses, literally told an attorney that he probably won't get his judgeship if he doesn't flip his guy against the president. You know, you don't have to be a lawyer to recognize there's something really wrong with that. One of their main investigators, one of their main prosecutors, I should say, said that in front of 5 others who kind of looked down at their shoes and didn't say anything, basically committing a federal crime at the Department of Justice to try to bring home cooperation from who they viewed as an important witness. It is astounding that that's not the real headline as opposed to this indictment.
Well, NBC News justice correspondent Jim says that Trump doesn't have a defense and that this legal strategy that he has, I guess that you're leading, will just focus on discrediting the DOJ. Watch this.
Trump's lawyers are really not keen on arguing the facts here or the law or arguing that their client is not guilty of these potential charges, but they're more concerned with arguing about how the DOJ played hardball. And look, they did play hardball in this case, and we'll just have to see whether the Justice Department did anything wrong in the process of prosecuting this case.
Jim, the argument that you won't actually argue the charges, you're just going to argue the reputation of the department itself.
No, I mean, look, this was basically trying to appeal to somebody in that chain, that Praetorian Guard for the Democratic Party, to have a conscience. You know, the Attorney General is hiding behind the special counsel. He still controls special counsel, but he sat there and hid, didn't want to meet with us, didn't want to talk, didn't want to consider the ethical problems. We raised it quietly at first, loudly now, that their investigation is fatally flawed from outrageous misconduct, perhaps even criminal misconduct. But make no mistake, I mean, there are layers of defenses to these charges. And the most fundamental thing, just so your viewers get this, Laura, there's this thing called the Presidential Records Act. It is precisely dealing with presidents and former presidents and basically saying, and DOJ agreed with this years ago in a case involving Bill Clinton, that the former president gets to decide what he keeps. He should work really closely with archives. They can ask him nicely. If they get mad, they think he's holding on to too many things, they have a remedy called civil suits. There is no criminal penalty for violating the Presidential Records Act. It's a reflection of the fact that historically, before Nixon, they had completely unfettered rights to keep everything. Now we're saying at least please work with archives so we can see some of the stuff you created while you're in the White House. So that was the starting point. And by the way, Laura, one quick point on this.
Sure.
The referral from the National Archives to DOJ came from the White House, actually violating the Administrative Procedures Act, and they lied about this. They're the ones that started this thing. The politicized bureaucrats at NARA, the archivists, were happy to push it forward and into this Praetorian Guard of DOJ who's hell-bent on prosecuting them no matter how many rules they break.